Maybe here what we can do is we can imagine some sort of road that goes off at more of a 45-degree angle, just to add some interesting character to the grid. And maybe we can plop it here. That way we can connect down here and over here, and that's a pretty good connection. Yeah, so I'm liking the way this is turning out, where you have this section here where the roadway network flares out. But I think this is probably a good spot to stop. I don't want to spend too much money because I still need to build a power plant. Now, the options we have right now is a wind turbine, which, this isn't really a good spot for it. You could do something over here, but I think at this time, I'm probably going to go for the coal power plant. And maybe what I'll do is let's take a look back at this area. So maybe what I'll do is I'll create a little small industrial park up here where I can put my coal power plant. That way it's far away, but it's not too far away to where I can, run a reasonable power line down. And I think that should be good. Yeah, so let's get started with that up here. So looking at the area, maybe I'll come in right here before the grade is too intense with the road. I need to get the mod where you can turn on the contours. I think that would really help me out a lot. So I'm going to come in, another 10 units or so. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll go out another 10, something like this. And then we'll start a little industrial park area. So we'll do that. Bring that over here. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, so all right, let's grab our coal power plant. And I think what I might do is place this here. And then I will run power down the current road that we already have. That's kind of like the main thoroughfare to our little town that we're starting on here. So and I'm staying a little further off over here because in real life, when you place utilities like this, it's nice to have a buffer like that in case you want to widen the road. And utilities are really expensive. Oh, I'm not a big fan of that there. That utility pole is pretty close to where the existing road was. Just want to add that little bit of space there, but I'll bring this over here to about here, something like that. And the other benefit of placing the first community down here next to the river is that we will have great access to water. So I'm going to start off with just one water pump. And looking at the water flow, we want to put this upstream of our town. So I'll do something like this. And I like to be realistic and think that there might be an access road that will snake down here. And maybe what we will do is even have like a riverside district where we won't necessarily zone all this stuff up here. There'll be like a nice gap because it'll be like a cliff sort of face, not a cliff face, but maybe this is like the part of the town where when it first was built, there was some there wasn't really consideration of grade, so you'll have this like steep grade, and you're building more in the floodplain, that sort of thing. But yeah, let's get this all connected up and start growing our city. Oh, and before we do that, the other thing I wanted to do was place this eco-inland water treatment plant. That way we can keep things a bit green, and I'll place that over here by the power station, the coal power plant. And a lot of people do this, and I agree. I like to do this because it makes the game feel more realistic to me, and that is place the water pipes underneath the roadway. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll do that for the town where it makes sense. Yeah, and the benefit of using a grid like this is that you can do things like this where you have a spot here that's not covered by this big loop or this big square of water pipe, and you can come down and just fill that in. So I'm going to, actually we have some pretty decent coverage over here, but I'm just going to finish this off over here for future expansion. All right, so let's get some people in here and then we'll unpause the game and really get this thing going. So I'm going to, actually first, I'm gonna go ahead and zone, even though we don't have the demand for it, I'm gonna go ahead and place our commercial, because that will be sort of the bedrock of the commercial aspect of the town. And I think I'm gonna just zone this whole area commercial, and then leading up to like a main street sort of section here. And then maybe what we'll do is have a few pockets of commercial on the corners, like this. Let's maybe do one more right here. All right, and then I think for this we can fill all this in with low density residential, and we'll let things run here for a minute and see how things fill in. All right, so we're starting to see some residential, of course, forming far away from where I have power. So I'm going to go ahead and zone this area for power as well, because they're not going to be too happy with that. Oh, and I see another mistake I made. I need to, okay, never mind, it connected. The power has jumped down to here. And now we're starting to see things really shape up with the power and the water. And why are folks not happy? I did a silly thing. I did not connect the water up here. And I also did not connect, I did not connect this, the inland water treatment. There we go. Everybody should be happy now. All right. And they all go away. Nice. So right now we're really covered on our residential demand, but now we have an industrial demand here. Look at all the people moving in. It's fascinating to see all these people move in, following the road that we made, going down. Yeah, it's looking nice. Look at the town down there. Looks great. Wow, lots of people. Okay. All right, so we'll come up here. What's it saying? Not enough fuel. Okay. Coal stored for 3 weeks. Okay, we'll see if that can take care of itself here in a minute, but let's place some industrial in the meantime. So I'm going to place some industrial a little bit off the road and back here as well. It always kind of trips me out here when you start, when a building starts up and it like builds all this scaffolding, and then what's left is like a third of the height. Don't really know why it does that. I mean, I know it's just like some game animation, but it'd be cool if it was a little bit different. So let's see how things are down here. So things are looking pretty good. Yep. Great. Yeah, still not a lot of demand for commercial, but we'll see this fill in. We have a drugstore here. That's pretty exciting. A quiet corner shop. A general store. Kind of, your basic needs for a community of this size. We only have roughly 400 people. And once we get to 400, I think we'll get our first milestone. Might come over here and add a little bit more industrial. So we'll bring this out like so. Actually, let me come and do that. And then we'll add our pocket of industrial. Actually, I'll hold off on that for now, because you can really see that the demand right now is for residential. And before I start placing that, I guess I can put a couple spots, but what I want to do is really take a look at our budget. Right now we're making $430-ish, and we have people moving in, and that's great. So, but what I really want to do is make sure that we're fiscally sound. So what I might do, since we don't have access to taxes or loans and things like that, is just kind of bump down our electrical usage in the day and in the night to about 75%. And same thing with our water. I think we can probably take our water down to, I don't know, let's try 50 and see. I mean, we'll definitely know in a minute if that's not okay. but we can take a look at our panels here. Yeah, electricity looks good and water looks good for right now. Okay, so now our budget's up to 1,200 and climbing, so that's wonderful. All right, so I think what I might do is expand the grid network of this little town a little bit more. So let's continue on over here. Actually, let's take a look at our the bigger picture. So one of the things we do have is this nice wooded area, and I bet once we get districts that we'll be able to see that we have oh yeah, there we go, little hamlet, 440 people. So that gives us things like taxes and loans and garbage collection, healthcare, education. We have a medical clinic, elementary school, recycling center, all these really essential things for a community of this size. And we're gonna start placing that here. We'll keep the game on a slower speed. That way we can kind of get caught up with a lot of these facilities. And I think a good spot for a medical center, or excuse me, medical clinic would be, we'll do right here, and everybody's happy, and that's good. The other thing we need is garbage collection. So I might put that up here. Let's say here. We don't want to be too far from our highway, just I think from an aesthetics point of view, and not enough workers. So we definitely need more people moving into town. So we'll work on that as well. But the other thing we need to place is an elementary school. So most of our residential is centered in this area on the left side of the screen right now. So I'm going to place our first elementary school right here and allow a little bit of space right here for expansion in case we need to widen the road later on. So we'll come over 10 units, go up, extend our grid, add a connection through here, and do that as well. But what I was talking about earlier is that I think I might not expand too far into this area because I'm thinking of putting a forestry industry over here. And I think that'd be a great spot, and we could have it connect up over here to our existing industrial area. But let's continue this grid out a little bit so we can get some more folks into the city. And what I might do is kind of change up the grid a little bit, and just because it's nice to do that from a planning standpoint. Sometimes you want to have termini in the roadway network where you have a dead end. It gives a more of a sense of place, I find. So just kind of having some variations, and it makes things seem a little bit, I don't know, a little bit different, because grids can be kind of boring, you know, but they are also extremely efficient and great backbones to plan upon. So what I might do is just add one more node there. Okay. And yeah, let's fill in with, actually, before I do that, let's add in some commercial. So I'm thinking another pocket of commercial here, and then maybe one right there, a little corner store or something. And of course, we can't forget our water, because people will, you know, they need to drink, they need to use the bathroom. Yeah, they need all those good things. Oh, and I really want to get this centered as much as I can. Then, okay, great. All right, let's see how things progress. And I'll bump this up a little bit.